All right, I'm back. It's 3:43 in the morning, uh, and I'm here. So let's play an intro, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So let's go back to uh, this. Let's see here. Let's go back to this.
Case 1 week after Rex Heuermann's arrest, investigators continue to pour through his Massapequa Park home. Victim's disappearance is happening. At times, his family was out of town, and now investigators want to know whether he may have lured women to that family home. Eyewitness News reporter Kristen Thorne live in Massapequa Park this afternoon with what we know about the investigation. Kristen.
Mike, and that's the reason I think investigators are still here at the house. They are trying to figure out whether Rex Heuermann may have taken some of these women back here. Mike, I've been covering crime scenes, homicide scenes for nearly 20 years, and I have never seen investigators stay at a house this long processing it. I believe they're taking this house down to the studs. 1 week later, and investigators are still at Rex Heuermann's house processing it for evidence. But they have left the 2 storage units in Amityville where they descended upon earlier this week. Investigators are not saying what, if anything, of interest they found in those storage units. Police are not saying how much longer they'll stay at Heuermann's house in Massapequa Park. We know one of the things they are looking for is biological evidence, which would point to whether Heuermann took any of his alleged victims back to his home.
Do they have a piece of physical evidence that ties any of these victims to his home yet? The answer is no, but they've removed a lot of things that they're going to be testing to see if they can tie either the victim's presence there or evidence of the victim at that location.
The attorney for Heuermann's wife released a statement saying that his client, Asa Ellerup, is asking for the public and the press to respect her family's privacy. The attorney said, as you can imagine, our client and her family are going through a devastating time in their lives. The sensitive nature of her husband's arrest is taking an emotional toll on the immediate and extended family, especially their elderly family members. If you see behind me, pretty much all you see are trucks and cars, and that is actually strategic right now on the part of law enforcement. Earlier this week, a media outlet got some pictures that investigators were not too happy with. So what they've done now is they've essentially blocked us.
So they have been at his house for a while.
from seeing anything that may be coming in and out of the house.
All right, that's done there. What I want to do is read this thing here. Uh, okay, so this is going back to the Evansdale case here. And this was done December 6th, 2012 at 5:20 p.m. And it was updated September 13th, 2021. So this is Bremer County Sheriff confirms bodies were found in the wildlife area. So investigators examined the scene where hunters found 2 bodies in Seven Bridges Recreation Area near Redland in Bremer County on Thursday, December 6, 2012. The bodies were taken to the medical examiner's office in Ankeny Wednesday afternoon for identifications. Just before 2 p.m. Thursday, multiple vehicles with Nebraska license plate arrived at the park. One larger truck had a trailer with an ATV. The state trooper blocking public access to the park confirmed the group to be FBI. Earlier in the day, a group of investigators walked along 270th Street, the only access road to the area, and marked the area with yellow flags. The sheriff said hunters discovered the bodies believed to be the 2 missing cousins in the secluded wildlife area about 25 miles away from where they vanished. So I'm going to go here. I'm already pretty much here. I'm going to do, I'll do this one first. Okay, so where am I? Well, let's stop this for a second. Okay, so this is whoops. Okay, so this must be 270th Street, and this is the road into the wildlife area here, and it goes, must loop around and then back. All right, and I want to read this. I get way too many windows open here. Nope, this is the wrong one. Okay, so Oops. What is this for? Address, city, state, zip code. This is all they have. Seven Bridges Wildlife Area is a 166-acre tract that has canoe access and allows hunting and fishing. 3 miles south and 3 miles east of Redland. The times the gate will be locked due to high water. That's it. Related items, Seven Bridges Wildlife Area. Okay, so this is what I wanted to see. Oh, I'm going to have to do this. No, I can't find it. What the hell happened to it? Oh, it's right here. So Seven Bridges Wildlife Area, 3015 270th Street, Redland, Iowa. 166 acres, managed by Bremer County Conservation. And Bremer County Conservation is located in Tripoli, Iowa. That's it. That's it. Yes. I'm trying to find some, I don't know, some historical. It's not going to be there. But that's, that's, it won't open it because I have to send it somewhere. More actions. Present. All right. No, I can't show it. I'll have to, I don't know why I can't show that. Right here. Okay. Never mind. Okay, so this is the map of Seven Bridges Wildlife Area, and I'll have to look at this. So this is 270th Street here. This is the river here. And this goes in here, up and around. The green area is wildlife area boundary. That's where the Aldo Leopold complex is in the orange. So this is the Aldo Leopold complex here. in the orange, and then this is Seven Bridges Wildlife Area here, the green. This is the rivers and streams here. This is the road. This goes in like this. This just loops around like I thought. So they were in here somewhere. Now the question I have is why, right? Why were they found in here? Everybody in creation has covered this case. I mean, literally everybody. So it's not like there hasn't been attention here to this. Everybody. I'm just looking at some of the creators who have covered this. This something really bothers me about this case. Not sure what it is, but I mean, I haven't really done a ton of homework on this case, but from what I have gathered is let's watch this. This is NBC News. This is 8 months ago. I can come back to that. I don't know why I do that. We learn as we go here. Okay, so I remember hearing about this. This was about 8 months ago, and this woman claims that her serial father murdered dozens. This is out of Iowa.
Small county.
Fremont County Sheriff Kevin Astrup is talking about an investigation in western Iowa that is making national headlines. Astrup says a woman claims her late father killed at least 50 women over a span of 3 decades and used his children to help bury them in a well in a remote field. The alleged victims are believed to be prostitutes or transients picked up in Omaha and lured to the farmland.
We will try everything we can to prove or disprove this. But as of this time, we have nothing.
But last Friday, 2 cadaver dogs did find something, the scent of what is believed to be human remains buried at the exact spot, an old well that was 3 feet wide and 90 feet deep. The Fremont County Sheriff tells me it took them hours to even find the well, which is in a remote field just over these hills. The sheriff says the well was completely filled in. Astrup says it would cost up to $300,000 to dig the well, so investigators will try other investigative methods first.
We will get...
Now I got to go back here. I got way too many windows open. So what did she say? Fremont County, Iowa. I'll tell you, Iowa is actually a beautiful state. So that's way over. Well, I mean, not way over, but see, I can just do that. I can just remove it from the screen, and it just stopped it. So here's Fremont County. I'm not saying this has anything to do with it, but let's go here. Wow. That's far. Yeah, so this probably doesn't have anything to do with it, but just interesting. All right, so let's go back to this here. That's I just did it. Damn it. Sorry.
Some different dogs to try it. That'll be one thing. You know, if we do find a site, we could use metal detectors to see ground penetrating radar. That's a tool we have to use.
Laystroke says since the alleged suspect is dead, time is not a factor.
There's no urgency that, hey, there's going to be a murder tomorrow. So we will move when we can move and do it right.
Reporting from Fremont County, Iowa.
So he's deceased. So just interesting. I remember hearing about that a while back, but I haven't heard anything else. So who knows? Obviously, they didn't find anything. Five months ago, 10 minutes ago. I'll play this here. Nobody's watching anyway, so nobody cares. Let's go here. So this was done. When was this done? This was done 5 months ago. So July 13th, 2022 marks 10 years since one of Iowa's most well-known unsolved crimes about Lyra Cook Morrissey and 8-year-old Elizabeth Collins. So we'll watch this.
Lyric was from Waterloo, Elizabeth from Evansdale. The cousins were spending a summer day together, but when they didn't return home from a bike ride, people responded in Black Hawk County and all across Iowa, desperate for a positive conclusion. But a decade later, and the
See, I don't know. I'm having a really hard time trying to figure out how somebody would have gotten those girls out of there in the middle of the day, peacefully and quietly. And now I know, there is a highway nearby, the sound and all of this stuff. But I'm having a hard time with that. It's just it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. Like somebody could just come up on the girls, take them, and get them out of there in a car. But I just don't. I don't think that's likely. I just don't. What's more likely to me is if somebody they were familiar with took them out of there. But that's where I'm standing right now. I just trying to invest some time to this case here, but it just seems weird that somebody would walk in there, take them out of there in a car or something, and not be seen. Just, I mean, it's a pretty heavily trafficked place, especially in July, right?
Person or people responsible for their kidnappings, murders, have never been arrested.
This is the last known video of Lyric Cook Morrissey and Elizabeth Collins. Grainy surveillance camera footage showing the two girls on their bikes shortly after noon on Friday, July 13th, 2012. Their grandmother Wilma was watching them, and when the girls didn't return home, she alerted their parents and they started searching. Shortly before 3 o'clock that afternoon, they contacted Evansdale police for help. This known video of Lyric Cook Morrissey and Elizabeth Collins. Grainy surveillance camera footage. Footage showing the two girls on their bikes shortly after noon on
Arrested.
This is the last known video of Lyric Cook Morrissey and Elizabeth Collins. Grainy surveillance camera footage showing the
Here we go again with grainy footage, right? Like,
two girls on their bikes.
Desperate for a positive conclusion. But a decade later, and the person or people responsible for their kidnappings, murders, have never been arrested.
This is the last known video of Lyric Cook Morrissey and Elizabeth Collins. Grainy
I'll have to see if I can edit that.
watching them, and when the girls didn't return home, she alerted their parents and they started searching. Shortly before 3 o'clock that afternoon, they contacted Evansdale police for help, soon joined by nearby law enforcement agencies and first responders. One of those crews located the girls' bikes along a trail at nearby Myers Lake, along with Elizabeth's, soon joined by nearby law enforcement agencies and first responders. One of the
See, that's that gate. And that gate is a good 8 feet. So why they were in here, they must have had some evidence that they were in here at some point, maybe footprints or something. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know if this gate locks, probably not. But if their bikes were found over here, they'd probably walked here to this fishing platform right here. So there might have been footprints here of them. And you would have thought somebody would have dusted these for prints and stuff. Or maybe they didn't. I don't know. But, you know, for them to drain the lake, they must have had a suspicion that they were in here.
Those crews located the girls' bikes along a trail at nearby Myers Lake, along with Elizabeth's purse and her cell phone that had been thrown over a fence. Investigators say they found other evidence that they aren't
That's a boat right there. They got boats on there.
disclosing, but one law enforcement and her cell phone that had been thrown over a fence.
That's a boat right there with a motor.
Investigators say they found other evidence that they aren't disclosing, but one law enforcement source just recently told TV9 that from the get-go, it was obvious the girls had been abducted. Within an hour, a massive search effort began with hundreds of volunteers abducted. Within an hour, told TV9 that from the get-go, it was obvious the girls had been abducted. Within an hour, a massive search effort began with hundreds of volunteers.
Then why did they drain the lake?
Looking through parks, trails, fields, and more for the girls. At the same time, investigators ordered the draining of Myers Lake. The Lyrics' parents said they didn't think the girls were in the lake and that they'd been taken.
They were swimming, they would have took their shoes off, things like that. There was no sign of any of that. We've never gone through anything like this. I don't know. It's hard enough just to get up and deal with the reality that your daughter is gone.
Right now, we are.
No, it's hard enough just to get up and deal with the reality that your daughter is gone.
Right now, we are pretty emotional, pretty sad. We're trying to remain positive.
With a massive volunteer search effort underway that first weekend, questions were raised about why an Amber Alert wasn't issued.
We have no person that was seen, and we have no vehicle that was described, so we can't issue an Amber Alert by their guidelines.
Unable to issue an Amber Alert, the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, the FBI, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children arrived in Evansdale to help as family members began their public pleas, hoping the girls are found safe.
I want them back. I want them back now. I keep praying, but I have to have them back. But I want them alive.
That must be the grandmother.
When volunteer search efforts were halted, officials began asking the public for tips. Pink ribbons started appearing across the Cedar Valley, the community's effort to show their support and spread awareness.
We just stopped somebody over off the street and got one so that we could take home to our neighborhood. We live in Waterloo, so we want to spread it to Waterloo too.
As the search neared the end of the first week, turmoil and suspicion began to build.
We know that none of the family members did this. It's very frustrating to hear people make their accusations when they don't know us personally.
Lyrics' parents, Misty Cook and Dan Morrissey, stopped talking to police or taking polygraph tests. Family members say Dan felt unfairly targeted by police based on his criminal past.
They told him they have proof that he did it. They said we have evidence. Well, we all know that if that was the truth, they'd already have Dan locked up.
1 week after the girls disappeared, the search of Myers Lake polygraph tests. Family members say Dan felt unfairly targeted by police based on his criminal past.
They told him they have proof that he did it. They said we have evidence. Well, we all know that if that was the truth, they'd already have Dan locked up.
1 week after the girls disappeared, the search of Myers Lake was called off, and the case
was the truth. They'd already have Dan locked up.
1 week after the girls disappeared.
So you can get a boat out there with a motor.
Search of Myers Lake was called off, and the case entered a new phase.
Investigators are
That's so cool.
Confident that the two girls are not in Myers Lake. This case is now being handled as an abduction.
With the investigation now focused on an abduction, people turn their frustration and fear into a community gathering 200 strong, wearing pink in honor of Elizabeth and Lyric.
I'm out here walking for the two missing girls from Evansdale.
You always wonder if the person that took them was involved in the search. You know, all these questions.
We put this together in 24 hours.
We're just out here to support Lyric and Elizabeth, to help bring them home in any possible way we can.
It shows that, the community can pull together. We've had over 200 people walking and running trails today, and they're all wearing the pink for the girls.
And a community bracing for updates received promising news from FBI investigators.
We have some things that we can't discuss to lead us to believe that they are alive. We truly believe these girls are out there.
Fourth week, come on, Lord, where are they?
As the days turn to weeks.
So that, I believe that was the mother, Collins, right there.
People held out hope, turning out for vigils, sharing flyers, and praying for the girls' safe return. Family leaning on their neighbors for support.
This community is pretty with our family and not is very with not letting the children's names get out of sight. The only thoughts that go in my head are positive thoughts. The girls will return home. Our time is not necessarily God's time, and we just need to be patient.
It's just very sad. Every day it's just very sad. It's just crying out to God, just please let this be the day. Please let this be the day that they come home or that we find something.
As the summer progressed, the public remained on edge amid a flurry of reports of suspicious white vans that kept investigators busy as they looked for any leads that might break the case. And family members continued to beg for information, any information.
We know there's somebody out there that knows something, that saw something little they might not think is important, or maybe they're...
So this is Drew Collins here, I believe. And I believe this was his wife. I think they separated, I'm not sure. But just sad, you get a feel for the families.
Scared to come forward.
Summer turned to fall as life in Evansdale carried forward, while the cloud of uncertainty remained and no sign of the girls heading into the holiday season.
And to have no clue, no leads, no nothing. It's just, it's getting harder and harder. You don't need a
season.
And to have no clue, no leads, no nothing. It's just, it's getting harder.
This is always cool to read these things.
Harder. You don't need a present. We just need them. So we're just waiting.
Then on November 13th, 2012, came a plea from Lyric and Elizabeth's parents, a letter printed in the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier. The parents addressed the girls' abductor directly, saying, quote, "We want you to know that we are praying for you to do the right thing," asking for their safe return. But that wouldn't happen.
Today at approximately 12:45 p.m., law enforcement was notified by hunters that they had discovered 2 deceased bodies in a wooded area. The Cook and Collins family had been notified of this discovery. The bodies are being transported to the state medical examiner's office in Ankeny for positive identification.
On December 5th, nearly 5 months after the girls vanished, their remains were found at Seven Bridges Wildlife Area, about $20 miles from Evansdale, shattering the hopes of so many people.
Not the outcome anybody wanted at all. Totally shocked. Very heartbreaking, devastating.
She is celebrating with us, and we long to be with her. I mean, our hearts break. We would just desire to hold her. I can't imagine a mom and dad's love, even her brother and sisters wanting just to be with her, maybe pick on her a little bit one more time. I mean, there's sorrow here. There is grief, but there's also joy.
A week later, 1,500 people gathered at a celebration of life service for Elizabeth Collins. Lyric had a private funeral later that month. In 2013, as the community worked to create Angels Park at Myers Lake, investigators announced a new lead in the case, this one focusing on a vehicle seen in the area of Myers Lake where the girls' bikes were found.
We realized that we have 3 different people, 2 early on and then 1 just a couple of months ago that came forward with information that identified a white SUV type vehicle.
You're hoping like more information, you know, something like more would come out in this, you know, vehicle description. But we're just, you know, always waiting for the day to find out what really happened.
In August 2014, investigators said the suspect in the case was likely a member of the Cedar Valley community and used quiet coercion to abduct the girls. The FBI released a profile of characteristics of the person responsible, someone who's local and very familiar with Myers Lake where the girls disappeared, as well as 7 bridges where their bodies were found. And in 2015, investigators said 7 bridges might be the key to solving the case.
Okay, this is that. Got to be in here somewhere or in here, but I'm assuming it's right here. So let me remove that for now. I don't want to go here. So that's got to be kind of in here somewhere. Drive up this road, you could go this way or you could go this way. So it looks like it's kind of in this area here. Yeah, that. Oh.
With Myers Lake where the girls disappeared, as well as 7 bridges where their bodies were found. And in 2015, investigators said 7 bridges might be the
Yeah, that's probably pretty close.
Key to solving the case.
We want to know about anyone who is familiar with the 7 Bridges area. The person or persons responsible for this are very familiar with 7 Bridges. We just don't know who all those people are.
That plea for information led to an influx of calls to investigators, more than 100 in just a day, and renewed hope for Lyric and Elizabeth's families, who described the year since their disappearance as hell.
I just really hope and pray that you know, that one of these leads out of, you know, 100 or whatever, 150, that, you know, gives us that one piece that is missing.
But those tips didn't lead to an arrest. As the 5-year mark came and went, family held out hope that someone would have to answer for their crimes.
Every day I say my prayers, believing that God will.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. It's just very weird to me how somebody can get these people in and out of here without being seen or heard in that time of the day. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it's impossible because this stuff happens a lot, but I don't know, it's to me, it's just not as likely, you know, it's not.
have to answer for their crimes.
Every day I say my prayers, believing that God will, bring this person to justice.
Time continued on, still no news. But the case is never far from the minds of many.
It's amazing.
The statue was donated by Buzz H.M. Anderson to commemorate Elizabeth Collins and her cousin Lyric and the other area girls who tragically lost their lives. And the other girls. What other girls?
That people still care after 9 years. I get messages all the time from people, and those kind of things that keep me going.
Investigators say they see an uptick in tips each year around the anniversary and hope one leads to an arrest after a decade, hopefully answering the questions of a community and a family that have been through so much.
Yeah, obviously, we wanted answers before now, but we haven't got them, so we're just pushing forward until we get those answers. It's 10 years, yeah, but we're still here. And, if anything, we're gaining in strength. We're not going anywhere. We're going to keep working this case till we find out who did this, and we're going to bring them to justice.
Justice, something that,
Like I said, maybe it's just the fact that I'm a relic now, being so old, but I still think these cases here, just like I, kind of thought in Delphi, where something's dropped early on. Same thing with the Mara Murray case. Usually in these cases, something's dropped early on, not looked into, or maybe overlooked. And the further they get down the road, the longer the case drags out. The clue gets lost, and then it takes extra eyes, different investigative tools and tips and people to figure these things out. I mean, I still think that the Delphi case is the same way. If they don't go over the old tips, that case, we'd be talking about that case 20 years from now. Maybe not me, but other people.
continues to elude the families of Lyric Cook Morrissey and Elizabeth Collins, but they aren't giving up hope. Tomorrow on the KCRG TV9 News at 6, Nicole Agee sits down with Elizabeth's mother, Heather, who hopes time will help lead to an arrest in the case. In the studio, Beth Malicki, KCRG.
All right, so that's that. Doesn't always, I mean, obviously these people don't want to get caught, so it's not always the case, but I think this is the same kind of situation. Something was missed early on in the case, but we'll keep looking at it. All right, what am I going to do now? Okay, so let's go here. This is a pretty interesting thing here. This is, okay, so let's do this and then I'll get out of here. I just wanted to go over more information on the Evansdale case, like I said, because it's 4:30. So this is Bizarro here, too. I'll read some of the stuff to you. So the headline is, Kidnapped Texas teen holding Help Me sign rescued with help of bystander in Long Beach, California. So Michelle Guile reports from Long Beach, where a 13-year-old girl was saved from her alleged kidnapper this week after he took her from Texas at gunpoint and drove her to California. So it does happen. Sexually assaulting her along the way. Unbelievable.
kidnapped girl's plea for help, scrawled on a crumbled piece of paper, helped save her from her alleged abductor. Police say a man kidnapped that 13-year-old girl at gunpoint in Texas and drove her all the way to Long Beach.
That's where Good Samaritans saw her note and then called police. KCAL's Michelle Gili spoke with one of those Good Samaritans today.
Kidnapped. The man kidnapped the girl in the car. Now they got him over there. The girl is in the car.
The manager of a Long Beach laundromat took this video as police blocked the entrance to Easy Wash on East 10th Street, ultimately arresting an alleged kidnapper and freeing a 13-year-old girl. Authorities say she'd been sexually abused for days and was held captive until a couple suspected there was trouble and dialed 911.
I just saw her mouth twice.
What did it look like?
Help me. Help me. And then when I turned around, the expression on her face when she was looking at me like, don't leave me. And that's when I told my boyfriend, she needs help.
Isaac's boyfriend saw the young girl hold up this handwritten sign in the suspect's car window saying, "Help me." The Nissan was parked here in the laundromat parking lot. According to federal officials, 61-year-old Stephen Robert Soblin used a black BB gun to kidnap the teen from a Texas street on July 6th. She'd been reported as a runaway.
Heroes, literal heroes.
Between the 6th and July 9th, Soblin is accused of driving from Texas to Long Beach, stopping along the way to commit sexual acts on the child.
Once they were in Long Beach, Mr. Soblin told her to take off her clothes, which she did not want to do, but again, fearful for her life, she did this. She took off her clothes and he took them into the laundromat with his own clothes and started washing them in the first washing machine closest to the door so he could continue to keep an eye on her while she remained in the car.
I think he let her go low down, you know.
Easy Wash manager Touch Bong came face to face with the suspect.
He don't talk nobody, but I look into his eye. Yeah, he's not nice.
Records show Stephen Robert Soblin has a 1979 robbery with a deadly weapon conviction, the same 6 years later, as well as a drug conviction. The Texas man now has been indicted for the alleged kidnapping and faces life in prison if convicted. In Long Beach, Michelle Gili, KCAL News.
Oh, he'll be convicted. All right, let's watch this one.
The Good Samaritan is sharing her story of how she helped a teenage girl who'd allegedly been abducted from Texas.
The remarkable rescue happened at a local laundromat. KTLA's Helena Bobian live in Long Beach now with the story for us. Helena, good morning.
Frank, Jessica, good morning. That's right. The woman who works at this laundromat, she says she followed her intuition and she believes this was a real act of God that the suspect and child happened to walk into this business right here. So going back on July 9th, it was early in the morning. She says the suspect and the victim, they walked in and the suspect was asking about a restaurant nearby. And she knew that restaurant was going to be closed on that Sunday, but something inside told her to tell this man to stick around until 11 o'clock for the restaurant to open. Well, between that time, a real miracle happened because this child was able to signal for help. Here's a listen.
God sent me, let me know. That's how I stopped him because I know the restaurant not open and why I say you wait till 11. So they open, but never open the restaurant on Sunday. If I didn't say that, if not God say that, she might be gone. She was so scared. Yeah.
Touch Vong, who works at this laundromat, says the alleged kidnapper and the 13-year-old spent some time inside washing, then drying clothes. At some point, the 13-year-old victim went back into the parking lot to wait in the car. That's when the girl managed to write a note, the words "help me," and stuck it on the window of the car they were in. Another woman passing by saw the note and called law enforcement. Once they got there, law enforcement detained the man and found in his vehicle a BB gun and a pair of handcuffs, also that note written by that girl. The suspect has been identified as 61-year-old Stephen Robert Soblin from Claiborne, Texas. Just yesterday, the U.S. Attorney's Office announcing charges in this case, 1 count of kidnapping and 1 for transporting a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. This all began on July 6th in San Antonio, Texas. The victim, a 13-year-old girl, was walking down the street when the suspect, driving a gray Nissan Sentra, approached her, flashing a gun, and coerced
This girl is lucky to be alive.
the child into his vehicle. He promised to take the girl to Australia to visit a friend, but instead, according to the indictment, he spent the next few days repeatedly sexually assaulting the minor. Between July 6th and July 9th, the 61-year-old drove from Texas to California, and on the morning of July 9, the suspect and the victim made it to Long Beach to this laundromat, where the young victim came across the 2 women who ultimately helped rescue her. Now, the FBI is being assisted by local law enforcement in this case. If convicted on these charges, the suspect could face life in a prison. Now, back out here live, the suspect, we are told, is set to be arraigned in downtown Los Angeles coming up end of this month on July 31st. I'm Lena.
In my opinion, this guy's obviously done this before. All right, let's go back.
Now, a kidnapped girl's plea for help.
Okay, so I don't want to watch this because we got pounded by some storms earlier. I mean, we didn't, but Massachusetts did. So.
Western Massachusetts got hit with these storms first. Look at the damage to Route 2 in Gill. And this road in Deerfield looks a lot more like a river. If you were out on the roads tonight, you know how tough the conditions were. WBZ's Tammy Mutasa is in Fitchburg, where drivers had to proceed with caution or find an alternate route home.
It's been a wild day of weather. We drove through insane rain, lightning, hail, and we even heard thunderstorms. Did you see that lightning? The weather has been causing headaches for people trying to get around. Lightning bolts flashing in the night sky as another thunderstorm brews. In the day, a super soaker of a storm, leaving Fitchburg, Leominster, and their neighbors completely drenched.
It's been just storm after storm after storm. It's not fun. It's supposed to be sunny.
If somebody says in the next couple of weeks, hey, we need some rain, just kick that person right in the face. Because we don't. You know, need any more water here.
You should be getting a tan. I agree.
Part of US 2 turning into a river, forcing it to be shut down. Drivers crawling through the water as traffic backed up for at least a mile.
Route 2 over here, they're doing some construction. The asphalt is at a lower elevation, and so the drains are raised, so it's really accumulating a lot of water, and it's making for enormous puddles, and just, there's been some accidents.
Pea-sized hail pounded the area for several minutes with dark, ominous clouds hovering above. Decks in Lunenburg collecting hail while lightning flashed. City crews clearing clogged drains as city streets and parking lots turned into ponds.
It's a little bit wild, and it has been for the last week.
In Western Massachusetts, even bigger problems. Major flash flooding in washed out highways, closing roads from Deerfield to Conway. Police say some roads could be closed for days, if not longer. Drivers there and here are now taking it easy on the streets.
It kind of looked like an ocean, to be honest. Like, it was just water all over the floor, like a complete ocean, to be honest. You couldn't see anything on the road.
And with those conditions, they're left to process the strength of the summer storms.
Just keep some space and take it slow.
First responders say if a road is closed because of high water or any weather incident, please respect the signs and turn around. It is for you.
No, that's not what people do. That's you might as well just tell people to move the sign and go through the road, because people will literally, they see the sign. I mean, you can't put any more signs on. And don't go through here, you idiot. The road is washed out. People will literally move what's in front of them and try to drive through it. That's the brains of people.
Your safety and theirs as well. In Fitchburg, Tammy Mutasa, WBZ News.
They put those things up for a reason. They don't drive all the way out there and assess the road and put these gates up and signs, turn around idiot, you know, for their health. The road is completely washed out. Don't do it. Let's go here.
Another day, another
This is,
storm. After weeks of
Hillsborough County here, so this is around my neck of the woods.
Rain, more severe weather made its way through the Granite State.
It seems like the rapid sequence of them this year is quite uncommon.
This time, Nashua saw the brunt of it.
When we have that type of weather event, it increases our call volume quite a bit, and we run all over the city addressing these lightning strikes or reported lightning strikes, smoke in the building, alarm activations.
This storm wasn't too bad, with only downed trees, lightning strikes, and fire alarms.
We don't see too many lightning strikes. It doesn't happen. It's pretty rare to get hit by lightning.
But Nashua Deputy Fire Chief James Kirk says he's
Yeah, it's really rare to get hit by lightning.
never seen so much rain.
And it's tough enough to see in normal rain, let alone torrential downpours.
Normally this time of year, those Smokey Bear signs outside the fire departments are marked as high, but this year they're green for low danger.
This time of year, it hovers around class 3, which in some cases you're not allowed to burn outside, but we haven't seen it move off of class 1, which is low.
But even if fire concerns are low, Lieutenant Kirk says these rainy days can still be dangerous. So being ready for when this weather hits is the best thing you can do.
Just be prepared and try to stay home and plan your travel whenever possible.
In Nashua, Ariel Matro.
Yeah, so, you know, I'll go to a map and then get the hell out of here. It's almost 5 o'clock. The cardinals are already singing here. Cardinals are usually the first bird out. Shut up, Cardinal. Yeah, we're finally in the clear here. Oops, I don't want that one. Yeah, so we got a high ridge of pressure building in here, so we're going to be in the clear for a few days. There's nothing right now around here. That was, you saw the tail end of that heading out. And I want to go to so this is the United States Atlantic coast here. So this is heading out. We got finally some clearing coming in here. I mean, it's kind of chilly tonight, you can tell. But that's it. So we out of the woods for a few days here. Supposed to be nice this week, thank the Lord. Or somebody. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to get out of here, play my outro, and get the fuck out of here. So let's. I hope everybody has a good week. I might do a live Sunday. I say that all the time and never do, but everybody have a good day.